Hey everybody, it's me, Tom Angleberger. I wrote the Origami Yoda books. So I thought I would read to you from one of my books, but I didn't want to just read one of the stories. I thought I would read you guys something from Art2D2's Guide to Folding and Doodling. I thought if I did a little how-to something, after I was done with my story, you could actually try it out yourself. So, of course, I go around with this Origami Yoda puppet, and I try to talk like Yoda. Now, my Yoda impression isn't very good. Yoda, I am. See, my Yoda impression isn't very good. But one thing that I've gotten pretty good at in the last 10 years since Origami Yoda first came out is trying to talk backwards like Yoda. Although it's a little more complicated than just talking backwards. And that's what the chapter I'm about to read to you is all about. Now, this chapter is read to you, is told in the book by Harvey. Harvey's sort of the villain in the book. He thinks he knows everything. So one of the things he thinks he knows is how to talk like Yoda. So let's read his chapter, and you can decide for yourself if this is really the best way to talk like Yoda. So here's what he has to say. How to Talk Like Yoda by Harvey. Okay, now I'm going to add something useful to this case file. I think the one thing we can all agree on is that I do the best Yoda impression around here. And of course, no one agrees on that, and Kellen writes wrong in the book. But anyway, that's getting beside the point. The important thing is to know what order to put the words in. It's not just saying them backward. That's a common mistake, but wrong. Harvey loves telling people they're wrong. That's his favorite thing. So let's see his example here. He says, don't just put the words backwards. It's more complicated than that. So if your sentence is, I talk like Yoda, he says you can't just read that backwards. Let's try it out. Yoda like talk I. No, that doesn't work at all. And he also says, see, that stinks. Yeah, he was right. That did stink. See, that stinks. And you can't fix it just by adding do to the end, like some people try to do. Let's see what that says. Do. Yoda like talk I do. No, that totally doesn't work. Here's what Harvey says you should do. Instead, you need to move the subject to the end. Let's see. The subject of our sentence is I, and we're going to move that to the end like this. So now it says, talk like Yoda, I, and we'll move the do over there also. So now it says, talk like Yoda, I do. So what we did was we just moved the subject to the end. You guys have probably learned what the subject of a sentence is, right? We move the subject to the end, and then we add the do on the end. And so it's talk like Yoda, I do. And then that worked out all right. But Harvey says you can go a little farther, add either or yes. So let's try that out. Yes. So now it says this. Talk like Yoda, I do. Yes. That actually worked out pretty good. So he gives another example here. His example is, Harvey is the greatest. Okay. I hope you guys can read my handwriting. You probably can't. So we're going to try that. We're going to take Harvey and we're going to move that to the end. So, is the greatest? That don't work at all. So let's go back and read more carefully what he says. It says, sometimes it's better to move the subject and the verb to the end. Oh, okay, I missed that part. Sometimes it's best to move the subject and the verb to the end. So we will move Harvey and is to the end. So now it says, the greatest Harvey is. Let's see how that works. The greatest Harvey is. Yes. That worked out pretty good. Here's some other ones you can try. The dark side is powerful. That would be, well, you're supposed to figure that one out. I can't figure it out, frankly. You must buy Cheetos for everyone. Fools rush in. And do you judge me by my size? I know that one from the movie. It's, judge me by my size, do you? All right, so if you use those tips, you can go around with your Yoda finger puppet and talk a lot more like Yoda. And if you don't have a Yoda finger puppet, well, I've got videos on YouTube to teach you how to fold a Yoda finger puppet too. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed a chapter from Art2D2's Guide to Folding and Doodling, and I'll see you next time. And may the force be with you, always.